Senator Menendez of New Jersey is recognized.
Administrator Fernandez, welcome. You and I have had multiple conversations about the Gateway program in the past. Broadly, Gateway aims to modernize the rail infrastructure along a 10-mile segment of the Northeast Corridor connecting New Jersey to New York Penn Station. This is a critical stretch of track that carries over 200,000 daily Amtrak and New Jersey Transit passenger trips on approximately 450 trains and is the linchpin of the entire Northeast Corridor, a region that accounts for over 20% of GDP of the nation. The Federal Transit Administration's Capital Investment Programs Grants Program is the primary federal lending source for Phase 1 of the Gateway Program, which includes building a new Portal North Bridge, which ultimately is critical for going from Boston all the way to Washington, and new rail tunnels under the Hudson River. The existing century-old tunnels were badly damaged by Superstorm Sandy and in dire need of replacement. Now, I appreciate the Biden administration's continued support for the Portal North Bridge project, which has already signed a full funding agreement with FTA, and the work that has been done to move the Hudson River Tunnel project towards an FFGA as well. The FTA's annual funding recommendations report released with the President's FY23 budget recommends for the first time that the Hudson River Tunnel project receive $100 million in SIG funding in FY23. So, Administrator, can you speak for a moment about the importance of the Hudson River Tunnel projects and what went into the determination that it should receive funding in FY23?
Yes, Senator Menendez. Last fall, the Hudson Tunnel project partners made some significant improvements by finalizing their first step, which was the financial plan, and by updating that, we were able to then rate the project a medium high under the SIG program. And this rating is what resulted in the recommendation in the President's budget for fiscal year 23 for the funds that you noted. This project is a project of regional significance, and it is currently in the project development phase. There are still several steps that need to be achieved in order for it to be considered for a full funding grant agreement. But nonetheless, just last week, the project partners, the state of New York, New Jersey, and the Port Authority signed a memorandum of understanding with the Gateway Development Commission, which in fact outlines the payments that they're going to be contributing towards the Portal North Bridge project, in addition to the Hudson Tunnel. And that is a good step in the right direction. They've also hired an executive director at the Gateway Development Commission, and that will then set the stage to stand up the entity that will become the designated recipient for federal funds to deliver that project.
Now, they've made significant progress. Does the Hudson River Tunnel project remain on track to eventually receive FY23 funding?
There are several other steps following the project development where they currently are. They need to then enter into engineering, and it's at that stage that the federal government will lock in the federal contribution to the project.
Okay. Now, you said it was a project of regional significance. It certainly is. I would say it's a project of national significance. When you have 20% of the entire nation's GDP generated by the region, and this is a linchpin to mobility for businesses to get workers to work and for people to go to hospitals and a whole host of other things, I think it's a project of national significance. Now, I understand, I heard Senator Toomey question the need for strong federal support for transit due to lower ridership during the pandemic. The Regional Planning Association recently released a report that confirms the continued need for the Gateway project and found that Trans-Hudson ridership would return to or exceed pre-pandemic levels by the time the new Hudson River tunnels are built, and would exceed pre-pandemic levels by 15 to 32% by 2050. So yes, our transit agencies, like other industries, were hard hit by the pandemic, but the fact remains that transit will remain a vital and growing part of our transportation mix. And I'm proud of the much-needed investments that the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law makes in modernizing our transit systems. Let me turn to one other subject. I've long been an advocate of transit-oriented development because I've seen the transformative effect that it can have on communities, going back to my time as mayor in Union City. When properly planned and executed, it can bring significant new investment to communities, providing new economic opportunities for families and business owners while ensuring affordable housing for residents. The Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill expanded a pilot program that I helped create several years ago, and I appreciate the FTA announced the availability of $13 million for the program for FY22. Do you believe that further strengthening the linkages between transit, affordable housing, and economic development can help to create more livable, walkable, sustainable communities?
Yes, I do, Senator Menendez. As a matter of fact, public transportation is about people, and the models that are used to determine where public transportation should provide service are models that are driven by origin and destination. So housing, affordable housing to keep individuals close to high-capacity transit centers with high-quality transit service is definitely a need. And the transit-oriented development, which encourages the public-private partnership through joint development as well, would see investments along corridors where transit currently exists, and also create that density that is necessary, that infilling that is necessary to support the continued growth of communities.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your service.
Thanks.